to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And I am back. It is a Monday morning, and I am tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And I am a couple days late. Actually, I'm a day late getting this podcast out. I wanted to release it on Sunday, but I'm going to tell you folks right now, the wind has made, this has been the worst week for allergies for me. And this weekend was pretty horrific. And just this morning, right, I was just trying to put it off because I don't want you guys to hear me like sniffing and sneezing and let's just like that, which you're going to get that today on today's podcast because I can't stop that. Today I woke up, there's like a 30-mile-an-hour wind out there, and I can barely hear myself talk, actually. So you guys get to experience all that today. I didn't do a podcast last weekend because it was a holiday weekend. I was kind of hanging out with some family, doing some different things, and, whatever. I took a weekend off. It is what it is. So I couldn't miss. I know I sound horrible, but I couldn't miss out on this weekend. So you just have to deal with my allergies. Not a whole lot going on over here. Just some basic classes. It's been a couple weeks, so now I'm trying to think of what I missed class wise. I had my elite group come out and we did this drill called the Humbler. Now, if you're interested in what this Humbler is, you can get online and you can look it up. I posted about it on social media, but it is a drill. You fire 70 rounds and you do everything from 25 yards. And when you start shooting handguns, we've talked about it before, you should always start shooting close to the target. And then you can incrementally move back and get further and further and further, but not too often do we do a whole bunch of stuff from the 25-yard distance. And this drill, everything was done from 25 yards. We didn't go further. We didn't go closer. Everything was done at 25 yards. And you can get a total maximum score. You score the targets, use the B8 target, and you score your shots, and you can get a total of 700 points, right? Total for this. Now, I had all the guys in the elite group do it, and they were, honestly, I think, the name is appropriate. I think they were all humbled. Now, we had some people that did a little bit better than others. But, man, I tell you what, 25 yards with a handgun, even if you have a red dot, is quite the challenge, especially if you've never done it. And you're going to look up and you're going to see what the criteria, what the different drills are. And you're going to go, well, that doesn't seem like it's too bad. Well, you know what? You got a lot of time typically to do this in, do a lot of these drills in, because it is timed. Each one is timed. And it is more difficult than what you think. And it shows you that you need to have everything dialed in. You need to have your fundamentals good, because if you're really good up close, we talked about it before, the further away you get from your target, just the little flinch, just a little whatever it is of the gun barrel as you press the trigger is now going to be amplified. If you're shooting at 7 yards, 10 yards, whatever, and now you're back to 25 yards, it's going to be crazy how far off you're going to be if you flinch. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to be clearing my throat and stuff in the middle of the podcast, but it is what it is. But this drill, it'll humble you. I mean, it's named the Humbler for good reason. But try it out, check it out, look it up, go to the social media page, find it. We did it a couple weeks ago, and no one scored a perfect score. Some got higher than others, but it's a tough one. So check it out, try it out. I'd love to hear back from you if you go out and you do it. Be honest with yourself, and I'd love to hear back at how well you did or how well you didn't do, because it'll show you what you need to work on. Now, just a suggestion there, if you want to score this and you want to score this drill properly, because there's so many rounds, I think there's 11 rounds of shooting. And so I'd print off at least 11 or 12 B8 targets, and I would change them out after each shooting string. And you'll take a look at it, and you'll see what I mean. It's a good one. It's definitely a good one. Just try it out. Try it out. It's harder than what you might think. So we'll just leave it at that. Now, my elite group tried it once, and we're going to do it again later on, and see if they can improve a little bit on it. So it's a good one. Give it a go. Sorry, I've got that allergy brain today, and I've got some allergy pills that is not honestly touching my allergies, and so I'm kind of in a little bit of a fog here. Just trying to get through it. So, big news is that we now have, and I probably mentioned it last podcast a little bit, but the suppressor bill that was going to free the American people, the American citizens, from having to pay the $200 tax stamp on suppressors and get the suppressors off the NFA. That is attached to the big tax spending bill, or whatever they're calling it. It's called the Big Beautiful Bill. Freaking ridiculous name. Go figure. Guess who named that? Dumb name for a bill. But it has passed the House and is now on to Congress. I've yet to hear any movement on it. If Congress passes all that and doesn't remove the suppressor bill from that, then we can essentially have no tax stamp and no registration on suppressors, and you'd be able to go in and buy them off the shelf at your local gun store or mini mart or whoever wants to sell suppressors. So that's something to look forward to. Is it going to pass Congress? That's what everyone is asking. Is it going to pass Congress? I don't have high hopes. I just don't think it will. I think it passed the House. I think that's as far as they they're going to allow it to go. And I've talked about it before. I think that they weren't going to put it in there. We complained, and they released half of it. Then all of a sudden, bam, we did it for you. We got it through the House, the complete thing. We didn't modify it. Yeah, look what you did. You called in. Look what you did. Look what we're doing for you. And I think that it's going to be done on the federal, or on the on the Senate level. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. In fact, I did just read there's like 6 or 7 Republicans that are actually not just opposing that, the Suppressor Act, but they're opposing, or say that they have problems with and are going to oppose the whole big, beautiful bill. So we'll see what happens here. Next on the list, and this is going to be a little short podcast, I think, because, man, I'm trying so hard not to sneeze right now. It's insane. Coleon Noir put up a video. You go check this out. And it is a video about Donald Trump Jr. and about him and his business partner have teamed up with a company that you all maybe have seen online called Grab a Gun. And they're teaming up with them. They're going to put some money into that. They are creating this platform, and they are going to take it public on the stock exchange, a publicly traded company. Now, I kind of watched a video on it. It kind of explains what this company is necessarily. I don't know that I totally understand it. Like I said, foggy brain, allergy pills, so that's probably me. But check it out. It looks pretty cool. It's going to be a publicly traded company. Now, on the ticker, on the Wall Street ticker, it's kind of funny. They list the different companies, and usually I think it's like 3 letters as the identifying letters. This one is PEW, so pew as in pew pew. Thought that was pretty cool, so check that out. God, I'm all over the freaking place. I actually have notes today just to try and keep myself focused, but I obviously was unfocused enough that I took my notes out of order. So they did say that on that backup, just one more thing, on that big, beautiful bill, that suppressor bill that is attached to the big, beautiful bill, we are supposed to know the outcome of whether or not the Senate's going to pass that by the 4th of July. So we got a lot of time actually to see what happens with that. So, just kind of interested. I haven't bought a suppressor yet. Maybe if it passes, maybe I will. It'll be much easier and I'll spend less money. I wonder if that'll drive the cost of suppressors up, though. I wonder if they'll jump the cost of suppressors up by like $200. I mean, might be a good business move if you're in the suppressor world. Oh, all of a sudden the raw materials made that we used to make the suppressor went up $200. I mean, that $200 initially doesn't go, the tax stamp doesn't actually go to the manufacturer, right? But if everyone's already used to paying it, I could see how they might jack those up a little bit. Be interesting to see what happens there. So I have gone out on a limb. This year, I am going to go hiking a bit with my son and my wife and my just my other kids, and we're going to go hiking to lakes, and we're going to go do lots of different things up in the mountains and the desert and whatnot. So I usually take my gun when I go on these. And I'm finding, even though I carry a gun every single day, I carry it on my hip, I carry it appendix carry. Let's be honest, okay? If I've got a pack on and I'm carrying fishing poles or whatever, carrying a gun on your waist, even OWB, is kind of annoying and kind of can be hard to get to, even open carried. So I went out and I ordered myself, and it actually arrived last week. Haven't really tried it out a whole lot yet, but I ordered a Kenai chest holster from a company called Gunfighters Inc., and they are based out of Rathdrum, Idaho. So that's up in northern Idaho. Pretty popular. I know we've all seen the holsters. We've all seen them on the social media, on the computer. They put out some awesome advertising. People up salmon fishing up in the Kenai Peninsula, and they're all wearing these chest holsters. And so far, I haven't wore it out on any excursions, but man, very well made, very quick. I went and I bought one of the ones. You can actually custom order them, and then they have ones that have a certain amount of them for certain gun models and stuff that are already kind of just custom made. And you can just order, and I ordered and I got it like in 2 days. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, if you live across the U.S., you're not going to get that in 2 days. Obviously, this is from northern Idaho. Hop, skip, and a jump for me. In fact, it probably took a day longer than it should have, to be honest with you. But 2 days, I got my holster. Very high quality, made very, very well. And I'm going to do a shout out to, I tell you, I'm like a little kid. When I was a little kid, when I was younger, when I was in grade school, right, the big thing was stickers. Remember the scratch and sniff stickers? You scratch that one, it smells like a banana. Scratch another one, it smells like strawberries or whatever. It's scratch and sniff. Snickers. I can't even talk. Snickers are good too, though. Stickers were the jam back then, right? When I order something and I spend lots of money, I want stickers. And I get stickers when I order car parts. I get stickers when I order guns. I get stickers when I order holsters, except for one stupid company, and they put that sticker on the outside of the box, and I didn't get my sticker. I tell you what, Gunfighters Inc. puts a sheet of stickers. So I got multiple stickers with my holster. So if you're into stickers, that's kind of cool. Fantastic holster, lifetime warranty. I think it's going to work out really, really well. Now, I posted this on social media, and I had some people laugh at it. The gun that I got the holster for was my, you didn't guess it, because it would be my G19. Yes. I'm taking my Glock into the woods. Why am I doing that, you ask? First of all, I don't like Glocks, okay? And I don't like Glocks. I want to tell you right now, they are reliable and they run. And they're ugly as hell, but they go bang, right? Their triggers are absolute garbage. They're absolute crap. I don't like the fanboy behind them, but I've never denied that they do not function well, and they're durable, and it is what it is. So I chose to take my G19 up there. Now, G19, you think, well, Todd, that's a 9mm. You're going to the mountains. What might you encounter there that you can take down with a 9mm round? Well, let's talk about what I might encounter in the woods. Where I am, in the neck of the woods that I'm going to be in, I could encounter a mountain lion. I have every confident level of confidence that my 9mm can take out a mountain lion. I may encounter some bad humans, right? if I encounter those, I have no doubt in my mind, since I carry that round every single day, that 9mm round, that I could stop a human. I could save my life. I hope I don't, but I may encounter a bear. Okay, there are a couple different kinds of bears. There is a grizzly bear, and there is black bears. The only bear I'm going to encounter, if I encounter any of them, is going to be a black bear. And I have all the confidence in the world. First of all, I have all the confidence in the world that I could probably scare a black bear away without my firearm, right? They typically don't want anything to do with you unless you stumble upon them with some cubs and that kind of thing. They're going to take off. But if I have to defend myself, I have every bit of confidence that the 9mm round will get the job done. And just to make sure that it will, I'm not just carrying, it's all about penetration. When you're looking at big, large animals like bears, you're looking about getting through lots of fur, lots of hair, lots of thick hide, a big wet mess, right? And you're looking at breaking bones and getting through skulls, big, heavy skulls, right? Not as heavy as a grizzly bear, mind you, okay? We're talking about a black bear right here. So I chose to use, I ordered some in. I ordered the 9mm plus P rounds. They call them the sportsman's rounds from Buffalo Bore. Again, an Idaho company. See how I stayed local, support local into your state. Buffalo Bore, I ordered this out of Salmon, Idaho, which is pretty cool. Anyhow, 9mm plus P round, 147 grain, hard cast. So it's not necessarily lead. It's some kind of different alloy. It's real hard. It is made to hold together and penetrate. And that is what you want for bears. You want to be able to penetrate that hide, penetrate that hair, penetrate that flesh, penetrate that skull, go in and cause the damage needed that you need to do to stop this. Now, this bullet's going about 1,100 feet per second, and according to all the descriptors, right, it's actually supposed to be able to penetrate anywhere from 4 to 6 feet deep. That's pretty good. That's plenty for a black bear. Would it handle a grizzly bear? I don't know. There are reports at the bottom of it, like the different reviews and stories of customers they've had who actually guide up into Alaska, and the story talks about him stopping a grizzly bear with his gun. And so by all accounts, it could be. Now, what about different calibers? What Todd, why aren't you carrying a 10 mil? Todd, why aren't you carrying a 357? On Facebook, why aren't you carrying a 44? Well, because I don't have any of those. I have a 38 special. Okay. I don't have a 357, at least not one that's functional. I don't have a 10mm, at least not one I want to carry on my chest. I do have the JXP10, but that thing's like 98 pounds. I'm not taking that. I do not have a 45. Okay. I'm taking my 9mm. It's what I'm confident with. It's what works for me. Well, Todd, you should just go buy yourself a good woods gun. I can't. The government took all my freaking money. So I am ponied up a few bucks for some specialized ammo in the 9mm, and we are going to go with that. And I have complete confidence. And the only other big thing now that I'm sitting here talking that I'm thinking about that I could run into would be like a pissed off moose. And I think these would, if it's going to handle a bear, this thing would handle a pissed off moose just fine. I mean, I don't plan on shooting anything if I don't have to. My goal is to really take my little family, hike up there, see this beautiful lake, do a little fly fishing, slay the fish for 2-3 hours, eat a little lunch, turn around and hike back out. And I like this because if you ever done a lot of hiking, having stuff around your waist or anything like that can get annoying, especially if you're fishing, especially if you're fly fishing, get your line caught on things. I don't have to worry about that at all with this. Sorry about that, my nose. I don't have to worry about that at all with this because this thing is strapped to my chest, and so far I really like it, and it's really secure, and it's really adjustable. And one of the other reasons I bought it just for the Glock is because I don't want to take... I could shoot a Glock just fine. I just don't like them, right? I don't want to take my high-dollar platypus up there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to pack the thing around. First of it's way heavier than the Glock is. I just want something simple, something that I know is going to work. And yeah, a Glock fits that bill perfect. It really, really does. Now that I've got the actual straps and I got the whole setup, all I have to do now is go buy the center section if I ever want to add another gun to it. I just got to buy a center section with another shell on it. And honestly, I could see myself going and get one for my Keltec PMR 30. Like, that's a fun gun to carry when you're out and about. I could see myself, excuse me, I could see myself with that and a chest holster as well, depending on where I'm going. I could see one for one of my other guns as well. So I don't know. So far, I wore this. I put this chest holster on. I can't even freaking talk. Put this chest holster on. Put the G19 in it, and I wore it around for a couple hours, just around my property, doing different tasks, doing little things. I'll tell you what, it was pretty slick. Like, I didn't really. You knew it was there, but it didn't get in the way. It didn't bother you. Like, I'm really super excited about this. Now, I have other chest packs. I have a chest pack, a Hill People Gear chest pack that I can put other stuff in. But this is way more comfortable than that stupid chest pack. Like, this thing's top tier, man. Now, they're not super cheap. I think the holster itself, I got about $180 into it, which I think it's going to last me forever. And I get out quite a bit and do lots of things, so I'm pretty excited about these. Now, I'm looking at my notes here, and I'm looking at everything I have written down. That is everything that I have written down. I do want to touch on a couple more things, though. Some more things that I've this is instructor type stuff, right? This is things I see as a business owner, as a firearms instructor, just some little pet peeves. Things that I've seen, things that have happened in the past. I tell you what, if you sign up for a class and you know that class happens at the same time all the time, maybe it's like a multi-day class or class that spreads over 10 months or whatever, I'm okay with someone coming to a class like that that's got a bunch of people in it when they're like 5 minutes late. 10 minutes late, text me, hey, I'm on my way. I got off work a little late. I understand people work. I understand things happen. But when you consistently show up and you're like 20 to 30 minutes late and you know when the class is, it's at the same time, you get text messages the day before. Like, that's just rude. Like, it really is rude. Be on time. Do your best to be on time to your class. When you are, I don't know how to phrase this. I'm probably not I'm in a doped up state of mind right now because of the allergy meds. So I'm probably in no place to even talk about this. But when you're consistently late and there's no phone call, there's no nothing. Now I've told people I'm here as long as people want me to be here. For the class, shoot as much as you want, that kind of thing. I get it. But man, you can't show up 30 minutes late and then be surprised when everyone's leaving. Or show up 40 minutes late and be surprised when everyone's leaving. Like, if you can't make the class, you can't make the class. But man, set an alarm, set something, try to get here on time. Again, if you're just leaving work because work gets off at 5:30 or whatever, and you're running a little late, like, that's fine. I get it. And those people that do that, they let me know I'm going to be a little late, Todd. I'm going to be a little late. Now, sometimes freakish things happen. People get in a car accident. We had that happen. This gentleman is listening to the podcast right now as I say this, and that happens, and he came to class a little late, and that's totally all right. That is beyond his control, right? Someone sideswiped his car. He couldn't just leave the scene of an accident, and so sometimes that happens. But be conscientious about what you do. Now, another thing. I have a website for my business, and that website, a lot of people will look at the website and then they'll just like directly call me. Now, I have classes and stuff listed on that website. And I can do any of those classes you want. Like, they're kind of just placeholders. But if a person wants one of those classes, I can do those classes. I have to have a website. As a business, you got to have a legit website. Now, I sometimes I have people call up and say, I want do that class. That's fine. We can do that class. Because I'm assuming because you want to do such and such a class that you've got a little bit of basic knowledge down. And when I say, okay, that's fine. What's your experience with firearms? Oh, I'm pretty good. I think I'm up to this. Okay, you think you're up to that. Now, okay, you want to schedule a class? Yeah, but I'm going to have to borrow a gun because I have not bought one yet. Okay, you're probably not up to the class that you want to take, because it takes practice to get to this point. If you don't have your own firearm, like I'm just assuming that, hey, look, you're going to show up and we're going to start at the beginning, which is fine. Just know that. Just know that when you come and you take a class at Patriot Defense, that you're going to start shooting, especially if it's a private one-on-one class. Those are the best classes that you can take. It's private. It's one-on-one. I move at your speed. I'll teach you what you want, but it may not be exactly. I'm going to teach you what you need, not what you want necessarily. You may want something, and I'm going to kind of have to judge your skill level up to a certain point. And if I see that you're not quite ready for it, I'm going to steer you back into the direction, because we are still going to work those steps to get you up to where you need to be to learn the draw, or get you up to where you need to be to shoot repeated shots fast and accurately. It takes time. It takes certain steps to get out there, or to get up to that certain point. We can't always just skip right to it. It does not work that way. You will not succeed. You won't do well. You'll have a bad experience, and you'll think it's all my fault. And so that's not the way it works. If you're going to take a private instruction class, we'll set some goals on the phone, through the email, via text, whatever it is. You'll come, you'll show up, we'll see where you're at, and we will move on from there. Trust your instructor. Okay. You have to crawl before you can walk, and walk before you can run. So there's that. I tell you what, folks, I can barely breathe, let alone talk, let alone think straight. And hopefully this podcast made a little bit of sense to you. But I tell you what, I am fighting off a sneeze as we speak. So I am out of here. You guys have a good week. Bye.